In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we thank Almighty God Allah for His coming in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. We also thank Almighty God Allah for His raising up in our midst the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank both of them for their leaving in our midst the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And in those names, I would like to greet you with the greeting words of peace in paradise. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. Dear brothers and sisters, there are some people who define the word insanity as someone doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. If we were to take that definition and apply it to the behavior of black people in America, we would have to say that our people are insane. If you look at how we try to fight against white supremacy by doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to experience freedom, justice, and equality, which we have not received, you would have to agree that we are insane. How much longer are we going to exert our valuable energy to organizing rallies, press conferences, protests, marches, panel discussions, and conferences to express our outrage against white supremacy? The most recent incident that shows that we are still trying to fight this age-old war by doing the same thing is the controversy surrounding Donald Sterling, an owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. Black people are in an uproar all over America. Many are calling for him to lose his portion of the ownership of this NBA basketball team. But what we have to understand, brothers and sisters, that he is only one out of the many. Prior to Donald Sterling, there was Paula Deen. Prior to Paula Deen, there was Don Imus. And even prior to them, there was some racist politician who made similar statements. So what we have to do as a people is understand that we have to seriously sit down and begin to think of a more meaningful way that we can really take on this fight against white supremacy. But the best way that our people can do this is by listening to the man that God has in our midst right now, and that man is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. As I watched all of the responses that came as a result of this controversy, I asked myself, what if we saw those national black leaders respond to an effort to help black people pool their resources economically? What if we saw the black pastors and the black organizations and black community respond with that same energy toward an economic program that would help us to end the poverty and want that is destroying our community? We see out of this incident how many of our black organizations are handicapped because they're waiting on funds that are being given to them by people who are racist. So how can you give someone an award when you see he looks at black people as if we are nothing? But if we pooled our resources and backed the man that's in our midst, we will no longer have to go to the slave master or his children with our hats in our hands, begging them to help us to do what we can do for ourselves if we will stop being afraid. In this book, A Torchlight for America, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gives us the answer. He says in a section titled, Rethink the Old Slave Master and Slave Relationship, quote, Black leadership must reorient its thinking to self-help and then come up with creative solutions to our economic plight. We can, we will, and we must help ourselves. In another portion titled, The Mentality of Black Leadership, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, Black organizations and leadership must focus on self-help. We should create a forum in which we can convene regularly to discuss the troubles of our people and develop solutions that we can execute on our own. Each black organization and every black leader has a role in the upliftment of our people. We must recognize and respect each other's role and learn to work with those with whom we may be at variance ideologically. We should consider establishing a united front for the purpose of converging our efforts to meet common objectives over 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. He goes further to say, black leadership, therefore, cannot go to government to beg it to provide for a future. And he says further, black leadership must champion the strategy of turning within to do for self. Meaning we must teach our people to use our talent, time, and money and pool our resources educationally, financially to address our troubles. Here is a man that has already given us a solution, and now he has proposed once again the economic blueprint. But where are our black leaders? How come they have not united with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Would they rather just go and hold press conferences or do interviews on television shows, on news shows, and talk about white supremacy instead of using their influence to inspire and organize our people to put their money into a savings that will help us to become economically free? This is what we need to do, brothers and sisters. Support the economic blueprint. You can find out more about the economic blueprint online at www.economicblueprint.org. It is the time and what must be done, brothers and sisters. We must come together and pool our resources. Thank you.